Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 22nd episode of the hour before Thursday Night Live. It's January 20th, 2022. So we're coming up to almost the end of January. We've had a whack of snow here, and everybody's dug out pretty much now. And we had a melt yesterday, and now it's minus 12 Celsius. But I tell you, it feels way colder than that. It's just wicked cold here in Canada. Anyway, tonight we'd just like to remind you of our rules. There's no politics, no religion, no racism. Kindness and respect for everybody is expected. If you see somebody in the chat that you don't know, by all means, feel free to go over and click on their channel, give them some support, show them some love. And with that, I'll turn it over to my co-host, Jim Beauchart.
I don't know, Gary. Every week it's the same story.
They just have a different way of showing their love, Jim.
I know.
How's everything there?
Well, I'm feeling more and more like a dog every day. Every time I put my nose in somebody's crotch, they push me away.
Well, yeah, that's what you get here. You know what? Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest for tonight, all the way from Taipei, Taiwan, in quarantine, Stephen Sutton from the Flyby Guy.
Now that's an ovation.
Yeah, you get the applause. There you go.
Good
How are
morning,
you doing, Stephen?
Good morning. I know you said it was the 21st. It's actually the 22nd of January here. So,
oh, yeah, well.
I don't know if you can see just behind me, the sun is coming up. Well, the sun is actually trying to come out. Yeah, it's morning here in Taipei, and I'm on day 12 of quarantine. So I've got 2 more days to go, and I get out of here. So
Must be glorious to think of not seeing the inside of that same old room, eh?
Oh yeah, good. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the invitation onto the show. It's a pleasure. It's good to finally meet you both.
Well, we've seen you on other streams this week, and it seemed to me appropriate that we have you on as our featured guest so that we can kind of dive in a little bit into Stephen Sutton.
You sure you want to do that?
Now, you're from Helsingfors.
I live in Helsinki.
Yeah,
but I am from Scotland in the UK.
I could hardly tell because you have that Finnish accent coming out a little bit.
Well, yeah, of course, you can hear it. You can hear the Finnish in me. So.
Yeah, sure. Down to the fjord to feed the crew. No, I come from a Finnish background. My family,
really?
On my mother's side, are Finns,
Okay.
and just tremendous people. I have a lot of respect for the Finns. Now, my grandparents' people are temperance Finns.
Okay.
Right, you understand what the difference is between them.
Yes.
Now they're strictly non-drinking. Now, being Canadian Finns, being Canadian Finns was a whole different thing.
Yes,
when they went to visit Finland, they had to hide the whiskey in their luggage so they could have a drink before bed. But yeah, certainly an interesting culture and people with a rare sense of humor. I think.
Yes, they do have the driest sense of humor. A lot of the weather, especially in wintertime, it's very, very dry weather, so it really matches the sense of humor there, it really does.
Well, and I think Finns make good Canadians because they're
Yes,
used to that cold,
yeah,
dry weather.
exactly, yeah, it's very,
You know,
it's true.
yeah. Now I play a game called GeoGuessr all the time, and when I get to a place that looks like where my grandparents would have lived in Northern Ontario,
Mm.
I immediately click Finland, and immediately I've won because
Mm.
they moved from a place full of birches. My grandmother's maiden name was Björklund, which
Okay, so they came from the Swedish side then. They were like Swedish speaking?
yes, they were
Okay.
they were they were Finn Swedes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now her name was Björklund, which is land of birches.
Yes.
And where I grew up, my grandfather early in the morning would go out and he'd slice potatoes into little half-inch slices and hang them with a thread in the birch trees.
Mm.
And he'd wake me up, and then I'd have to shoot all the potatoes out of the birch trees before I got breakfast. So
That sounds like a Finnish way of life. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And cleaning fish. Whenever
Oh
I
yeah.
whenever I smell fish being cleaned, it brings back memories of my grandparents. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing. Now, what brought you from Scotland to Finland?
Well, in my past life, let's say, in my past life, I used to be a musician, so I used to play. I was a session musician, so I used to play a lot, and I was touring a lot, and I ended up in Finland playing, and I met a girl, and at some point after that, I seen the sort of decline in the music industry. I seen how it was changing, and I didn't want to be part of that because I thought there's no future here. There's no, there's no income. Or there will be income, but you'd have to work even harder. And I was already working quite hard at that point, so I thought, I think I'll change. So I decided to change my profession, and I I just moved to Finland, and and you know things haven't really stopped. It's been a good life. Finland's a great country to live. It's a great place for opportunity as well. People are nice. When it comes to technology, they're very open. Which really kind of relates also to like some the drone industry as well. So when it comes to us working in Finland and doing things like drone deliveries and whatnot, society is very open. They are very welcoming. So there's no kind of let's say a block that we can't do this or this is wrong or whatever. So it's like a true testament to actual Finns themselves that they are open to new things.
Yeah,
So we so
yeah. Oh no, that's and it's interesting because as open as they are to new things, they still are true to their history, right? I mean,
oh yeah, yeah.
I think my grandfather, before he emigrated to Canada, was a boat builder,
Mm.
um, and he came over here, and his first job was in Quebec, teaching woodworking, and he didn't speak English or French. Kind of learn on the fly as you go.
Yeah, yeah,
And then he moved to a gold mining community in northern Ontario, and was building houses and he had an incredible career that set up the rest of the family.
Cool.
He would build a house, move into it, live in it while he built the next house.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because
And
the
then
Finns have this kind of summer cottage culture as well. So they always have their summer home, and usually, especially in the 50s and the 60s and stuff, the grandfather would always build the house once we build that, then he would build one for the maybe for the kids or something. So yeah, that I mean that's a very very typical story that you would find with.
Yeah. Well, the house I grew up in was hundreds of miles from where he lived, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he did was because he owned so many other houses, he just paid for that house, and my parents had an interest-free mortgage.
Yeah.
And I think back in the day, I think they paid $10,000 for the house.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
and they gave him $1,000 a year off the mortgage for Christmas every year.
Yeah,
and he did that for all of his kids.
Yeah,
just.
Well,
I think when he died, he owned 11 houses.
Well, that's typical. I mean, if we look at the Swedish, if you look at the Swedish-speaking part of Finland, the Swedish-speaking community, we always relate them to the ones that have money. They are the money people of Finland. So when you look at all the large businesses, like the huge industries, they are owned by they are owned by the the Swedish speaking part. So so it's not a bit of a cliche to say that when you meet a Swedish speaking person, they're probably quite rich. It is a bit of a cliche, but
now are there a lot of Swedes in Helsinki?
Or in the north? No, it's well, I mean, it's kind of the way that it works. If you look at the history of Finland and Sweden, Sweden used to rule Finland, and then Finland took it back. So you had a lot of Swedish-speaking Finns there. So they were in these kind of areas. So there are towns that are basically, let's say, predominantly Swedish-speaking, where even all the street signs are actually in Swedish. But let's say Swedish is the official second language of Finland. So when you go to Finland, you'll see the street signs. They will be in Finnish, and then they'll be in Swedish. But when you go to the Swedish-speaking towns, they will be in Swedish, and then they'll be actually in Finnish. But now, obviously, English is now kind of the unofficial second language, and it's actually becoming the, let's say, official even first language, because I think even the Helsinki City Council are actually in talks right now to actually change to have English as their first language within actual communications, because so many people actually speak English, So it's quite incredible. But I mean, that's why the Finns are open to this. They are really open and they don't fear. But I would like to see having Finland or Finnish as a first language, just to keep the language, because it could dilute a little bit, and stuff. But yeah, it's quite fascinating. I have to say, it's an interesting aspect of social, aspect.
Well, the Finns that I know, the relatives that I have on Facebook are all pretty fluent in English.
Yeah.
But then you'll see the odd post where they post it in Finnish or in Swedish, and I have to translate it. Now, interesting, when I was a kid, a lot of Swedish was spoken in the home. And I understood what they were saying. Yeah. Now, I had my mother's uncle came over he was from Stockholm, actually. He came over from Stockholm and was visiting my mother, and I was there, and he would speak in Swedish, and I had to tell her what he was saying because she didn't understand the Swedish.
Yeah,
but she could answer him in Swedish.
Yeah, it's really bizarre when you hear a Swedish-speaking Finn speak and you hear a Swede speak. It's the same language, but it just sounds different.
Yeah,
it really sounds different. Swedish is like singing in a sense; it really kind of sings. But then Finn Swede is a little bit harsher. It's a little bit more, it is really, it is quite fascinating, and I know Swedish because I've got a lot of Swedish speaking friends, and the underlying aspect of actually Swedish, it sounds very like Scottish. So Scottish slang there's a lot of Swedish words that are used for Scottish slang.
Oh, really? Is that right? Eh?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I know about three Swedish words to speak, and one of them is Supskyflin. Do you know what the Supskyflin is?
No, I don't know.
It's a dustpan.
Okay.
And plättan. That's a pancake because I know how to order breakfast.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
And I can't even remember what the third one is. It's probably got something to do with the cat going home because that's my tattoo, which is my Swedish heritage. Is the cat going home?
Oh, okay, yes.
So that's sort of the Swedish sense of humor.
But you have words that I'll just give you a quick brief of the Scottish words that are the same and that are the same as Swedish. So you have the word brun in Swedish, which actually means brown, but we have the word brun in Scottish, so we say brun. So,
Okay.
you know, and then you have then in Swedish you have the word hus and hem. So hus is house and hem is home.
Okay.
And in Scottish, we use the word hus and hame as well. You know, so and also you can things like ut. So ut means out. We say ut as well, but it's oot. So there's lots and lots of Swedish words that we use in Scottish slang.
And to me, there's a lot of words in Swedish that just sound, I don't know, for me, like klockan is a clock or time.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it just makes sense. I remember going to Niagara Falls with that uncle, and they had the big floral clock. And he said, "What's that for?" And I said, "That's to tell the time."
Klockan.
Yeah, and he would ask questions like, we drove past the Ford plant, and he said, "How many cars a day do they make there?" I said, "How the hell would I?" I have no idea, But these are things that a Swede would know about his surroundings, right?
Oh yeah.
Very inquisitive and very fact-based, But no, that's interesting. So you married in Finland. Do you have other family other than your wife? You got kids or?
Yeah, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and she's bilingual or even trilingual, so she speaks English, Finnish, and also Swedish and German as well. It's just a testament to the education system that they have in Finland. So they really kind of focus on the languages and stuff.
That's great.
But yeah, it's a good life. Not that I've been home much. I've literally been traveling now for the past 5 months. I've not been home much at all actually. So
Yeah.
I've literally been away. I would say I've had one and a half weeks at home, kind of in between, my work. So
That's tough.
Have you been to Canada?
Never been to Canada, Jim. I've never been. It's a country I've never been to. I've been to the States. I've been to South America. Never been to Canada, and of course,
You've been to 150 countries, but you haven't been to Canada.
I know.
What's your favorite place that you've been to?
Oh, good question. Favorite place that I've been to. Argentina. I really liked Argentina for the wine and the meat.
Oh, yeah.
For the wine and the meat.
Talking.
I don't know. I've been I've been all over. So I've experienced lots of.
I've been binging your videos, and I've seen, and I wasn't sure that Papua, is that how you pronounce it?
Papua.
What country is that in?
That's in Indonesia. So there's two sides to Papua. So there's West Papua and East Papua. So West Papua is part of Indonesia. So it's just above Australia, and then you have East Papua, which is basically Papua New Guinea. And we were in Papua September, October there. We were doing our thing over there.
Yeah,
and
your business.
and it was incredible. It was an incredible place to go to. These are places that you really cherish to go to, because nobody goes there on holiday, and they're like paradise islands, and just nobody goes there. And when we went there, it was obviously during the pandemic, and there was no travellers, so there hadn't been anyone going there for maybe 2 years or something. So we were the only white people there, and everyone knew who we were. So everywhere we went, people knew who we were. They were coming up and they were constantly taking selfies of us every day, like 10, 15 times a day. Everywhere we went, people were just constantly taking pictures. We were literally like rock stars. And
Yeah.
it was incredible. I thought it was hilarious. And I'll tell you a funny story. There, when we were there, doing what we were doing there, we were working with a rock band. So there was a rock band from Indonesia, and if anyone doesn't know, Indonesia is a massive country. It's huge, right? It's really long, massive population. It's probably one of the biggest countries in the world, actually. So there was a band there that we were kind of working with, and this band were one of the biggest bands in Indonesia, which means that they were, huge, and they were staying in the same hotel as us, as well, and we were, meeting with them and stuff. And then the next morning, during breakfast, we were sitting at our table, and this band, they were called Kota. They were called, and they were sitting at the next table, and there was people all around us. There was lots and lots of people. The place was full, and everyone kept getting up and taking pictures of us and not the band. and you can see the band going, what? It was literally, it was the most surreal time of my life. I just,
Wow.
Amazing.
What instrument did you play, Stephen?
Sorry?
What instrument? You said you were into music.
I was a bass player and singer, so I used to play bass and sing.
You sang with that voice?
I know, I know I don't look at the moment. This is 14 days or let's say 12 days in quarantine, But when I'm out here, this
You can let it go. You don't have to impress anybody, right? That's great. That's really good. Boy, Jim, have you seen on YouTube? I don't have YouTube open. Have we got anybody watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say hi to everybody in the chat. Hi, everybody. Okay, so Stephen, and yeah, I think we're up to 20 folks. Oh my goodness. Ken Heron has graced us. Thank you. Hi, Ken.
Mr. Ken's in.
Oh, Ken's there. Holy smokes. Yeah, everybody's around. Why can't I open? Okay, here we go. Participants. I'm only showing 6 participants in the chat. So I'd like to say hi to Artco Drone Solutions, Chris Wedgeworth. Jay Santiago has just been made a moderator. Ken Heron is here. Lawrence from Novice Quads. Stephen Drones. Chris from Sunrise Water Media. I saw Stevie in earlier from...
Yeah, Stevie was there. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Capture Life Connection.
Stevie Bronx has been calling me. He's one of the guys who's actually been calling me and actually keeping me sane. He actually calls me just to phone and just to keep me amused.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Good guy. He's a really good guy. Actually, he's one of those
yeah.
guys. You free? Yeah, I'll just give you a call. So.
Oh, that's great. And But your time zone is just wicked, eh? I mean, you're what, 13 hours ahead of us or something like that. So
Yeah, and it's been tough because I'm in quarantine. So because I'm in this room and I can't get outside, I can't do anything, can't get any exercise. It's playing up with my jet lag. So my jet lag has lasted almost 2 weeks now. It's been. I woke up. I woke up today at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been awake since 3 o'clock. So I'm working in different time zones as well. So I work in the morning because that helps with the operations that I'm doing, and then I work late at night. So it's I'm all over the place. So
yeah. So you're able to get work done while you're there, though, eh?
oh yeah. I mean, I have SIM cards and all my devices, which I had to do from a government point of view because the government are monitoring us. They're sending us messages and they're phoning us to make sure that we are here and that we're healthy and stuff. So it's it's
Well, it's not like you have an ankle bracelet or something, right?
No, well, actually, I don't have any bracelet. But when we were doing operations in Indonesia, we had to be 5 days in quarantine there, and we did have one of these bracelets actually. So we did have one, but the thing is, my hotel room doesn't have a key. So if I walk out my hotel room, I can't get in.
Oh.
And if I can't get in, I get heavily fined. It's like $300,000 fine or something. I get.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Okay, they're not messing around, eh?
No, they're not messing around here at all. Not at all. I got, they gave, I have to take. I'll just quickly show you this. So I have to, I actually have to take my temperature four times a day.
No
Twice in the morning, twice in the evening. I have to take my temperature and I have to monitor that. I have a pile of these, tests which I have to do all the time and stuff. They take it really seriously. They take it super seriously here.
Now you're allowed to do the temperature orally, right?
Well, it's
That looked like a pregnancy test to me too, Stephen.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks, Ken. I always know that you like my accent, Ken.
Do you know the difference between an oral thermometer and a rectal thermometer?
But I'm not sure this does actually. I'm not sure this knows what the difference is.
It's the taste.
Yeah.
The taste, that's the difference.
So when you're out of quarantine, Stephen, how long are you going to be there in Taipei doing your job?
I leave Taipei on Monday morning. So as soon as we get out of quarantine on Monday morning, we go straight to the train station. Oh.
Somebody asked what flavor my vape juice was. It's no flavor. It's naked flavor. So.
And then we go down to Kaohsiung. So Kaohsiung is in the south of the island, and then we'll be in Kaohsiung until the end of February. So we'll be there until the end.
You're there all month.
I'm there all month. Yeah, I get home. I get home 1st or 2nd of March or something. I get home. So
wow.
You've been able to communicate with family. You do the Zoom thing.
Yeah. I have all my devices. I have unlimited data. The internet in the hotel is not great, but thankfully I have SIM card in my iPad and in my phone, so I can phone. That's why it's great because people just call me and just to keep me amused and stuff. So guys like Stevie and stuff, Sean and all the rest of it. They always keep me amused. But it's being in quarantine for this amount of time, it's not the best, but it's at the end of it, you actually understand yourself better. You have this understanding of your own psyche, and I think I'll leave here a better person. I'll also be a bit thinner. I'm losing weight. I'm not because I'm not drinking beer. So
Jimmy is. So when you get out of there, will you have an undying urge to want to play ping pong?
Do I want to play ping pong?
Taipei, aren't they great ping pong players? Oh, that's stereotyping.
It could be stereotyping. I think it's more China, because when you look at Taipei and China, they are completely different. It's completely different here. I think actually here badminton is a big thing here.
Oh, okay.
Badminton is a big thing here.
Now, I was telling you in the pre-show that I did a walkthrough in Taipei just to sort of get a lay of the land, and I didn't see Kentucky Fried Chicken there. I saw McDonald's, but in China, KFC is a huge thing. Eh?
KFC is here. It is here. KFC is 2.7 kilometers from my hotel room. I know that. I know that because of because of the because of the Uber Eats app, because I can see the distance. So I always choose a restaurant which is nearby, so I can get my food hot. You see. So.
Okay. Now I saw. What did I see? It was Panda Eats.
Yes, Panda Eats. Yes.
Panda Eats was delivering, and there was U-Bike. Have you seen U-Bike?
No, I'm using Uber Eats.
Okay, no, U-Bike is a thing where you go up to a little kiosk, you put your credit card in, and they rent you a bicycle.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Hundreds of them lined up, hundreds, as far as you could see. All these bicycles, these little orange bicycles.
I'm really quite interested in that when I get down to Kaohsiung, because I'll have some time off actually. So we'll have a good few days in between what we're doing, and I think we'll be doing some cycling then.
Yeah. Well, a lot of two-wheeled vehicles in Taipei. A lot of scooters. You see guys with. I saw a guy today, and he was on a scooter, and he had sandals on, and a dog sitting on the floorboards.
Yep.
The dog's got his paws hanging off the edge of the floorboard, just kind of, looking around.
Sometimes you might even see. Sometimes you might see the whole family as well on these things.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah. More so in Thailand. They really load up a bike in Thailand.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching, I would highly recommend exploring the world on Google Street View. Man, you get a real good view of what cultures are like in other countries.
Absolutely.
And I play a game called GeoGuessr where they drop you somewhere in the world and you got to guess what country you're in, right? And I'm getting pretty good at that. Usually, if I see something that looks like North Bay, Ontario, I click on Finland because it reminds me of where my grandparents live. And I actually won a game last night in Finland. It said, that's right, you're in Finland, and I was able to pick it up in seconds. So, but I think in a lot of respects, even though we don't have a lot of people can't travel, you can use something like Street View and really get a good grasp of what the rest of the world is like. We get into our own little cocoon, right?
It's not easy for everyone, of course, that they can't travel, and I've been personally very, very lucky that since the pandemic, I've been doing nothing but travel. So I've been very, very fortunate, and I don't take that for granted in any way. It's not easy. When you travel these days, you need to have, you need to plan well in advance. It's not like you would just show up with your passport and go. You need to have your tests done. You need to have your certificates. When I went to Indonesia, when I went to Papua, that we had to have a special, let's say, special entry visa because they were not allowing anyone into the country. So we were allowed into the country, but we had to, we had to supply medical records, a criminal record, and travel insurance. Everything had to be shown up front. Everything had to be, it was really quite incredible, and something similar to when we came here as well. When we came to Taiwan, it was, we have a special entry visa, because they're not allowing people into the country. So because what we're doing is, we have to have special permission from the government, so they would always help us in a sense, So, but it's not like, it isn't like traveling before. You really need to. You really have to have everything in order. If you have one thing out of order, then you can't travel.
Now you did a flight from Finland to Estonia, right? Down to Tallinn.
That was a video that I made. I think it was in September or something. It was, yeah. So that was a BVLOS flight. So what happens in Europe is that they are doing a lot of research for for the UTMs, and the main crux of that is to make sure that we can do BVLOS. So this was a flight that was being flown from Finland to Estonia, and there was also manned aircraft in the same airspace. So
Yeah.
so you would have a channel that would run from Finland to Estonia, and this drone would fly here, and then and then the plane would also be going in the opposite direction, but at a different height. And the whole point was to show that manned aircraft and unmanned aircraft can fly in the same airspace. And of course, it was a massive success, But yeah, there's, I was documenting all of that when I was there, because I was in the last project. I couldn't be in this project officially, but I was there. I was there as a guest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fascinating.
Now, did that drone have to go into quarantine in Estonia?
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't have its COVID pass, so it wasn't allowed in the country. I had to, so I had to go back.
So they recharged it and sent it back.
Yeah.
Very good.
Stephen, my favorite video that I binged watched some of yours earlier this week, as you'll know, because you responded to my statements. The one where you had the drone and it was looking down at you, and you're just walking on that frozen lake, and all you could see are the footprints behind you, and you just kept walking and walking, and there was nothing but just a lake or a river or whatever it was, and the wilderness in there. How far did you walk?
I think I walked about 3 kilometers there. So, yeah.
Just the crunch of snow under your feet.
Yeah. It was Christmas Eve or something. It was. I can't quite remember.
It looked great.
It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was cold. It was cold. It was really cold. But that was me flying the Air 2S for the first time, and I was using these smart features for the first time, because I've never ever used any of these smart features ever in any of the drones. I always fly manually, and I just I seen this shot. And of course, I didn't have anyone with me to film it, and I thought maybe I can try to use. So I actually had to learn how to use these smart features in -17 at that point, and try. And of course, I got it on the first time, which of course was really, really good. It was nice, but it's hard when it's so cold, because you have to concentrate. And when your fingers are freezing and your feet are freezing, and all you can think about is getting home and being in the sauna and stuff, But yeah, it was a really lovely shot. I have to say, I was so proud of that shot. And it's good. It's actually nice. It's nice that you actually recognise that, because when I was editing it, I was thinking, oh yeah, this is the money shot. This is the money shot.
I'm going to be off for just a minute, and
Okay.
Yeah. And once again, that other, you were coming along so low, and then it just start taking it up like that. It was just a great effect on that video.
Yeah, it was nice. Again, that was one of those shots that I, really, it was, hoping that it would be, because I don't think I've seen that before. I actually haven't seen a shot like that before, where you're just kind of going along, and then and then you just go up. There's a kind of a bit of a Star Wars influence there. Being maybe the Empire Strikes Back or something. I don't know, but it was something different, and it was nice to do, nice to see.
I've got a breakfast.
That's my breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. I recognize the sound. I'm like Pavlov's dog. You got to get that?
Yeah, I'll just quickly go and get it and bring it here. Just give me a second.
Okay, great. So here I am all by myself. Two dogs walking down the road. No, can't tell that one. Hi, Ron. Welcome in.
There we go.
There you go. I've got a frozen pond at the back of my work as well, and I keep trying to get that little shot there. I just keep failing miserably. There's just nothing that I'm satisfied with. So
one thing which is really good about frozen ponds and lakes and stuff is that when it starts to melt, you start to get these shapes because it starts to crack, and when it cracks, you get all these kind of say sort of strange lines, and you get these patterns, and that those are really good shots. So you got a top down shot of lakes when the lake's starting to melt. It's just amazing. It really is amazing.
What I like with the big dump of snow that we had this past week is getting up there and seeing the footprints, so we could follow a coyote because there's a big
wow, yeah, yeah.
So looking to get some wildlife into that video too.
You should look. I'll send you a link to or actually there's one video that I've got. If you look at my old videos, there's a group of people in Helsinki that are making shapes that they're making these kind of dioramas in the snow, and they're huge. So they're actually snowshoe. It's a snowshoe community, and they make these massive patterns in the snow. There's one video that I've got. It's from a year ago, and they've just done it again. So they've just went out to, I think it was the Baltic Sea, and they just made these patterns. I'll send you a link to it. It's incredible the size of these, the size of these patterns. They're artwork, and you can only see it, with a drone, because because they're so big. If you stand on the side of the lake or the sea, you can't really see it properly. It just looks like kind of lines. But when you take a drone up, you see the size of it. It's amazing. But I have one video from one that they done last year, but they've just done it this year. I was just so busy that I didn't have time.
Snowshoes.
Snowshoe community. It's a snowshoe community, and they make patterns in the snow with their snowshoes.
And crop circles in the summer.
Similar to that, yes.
Okay.
It's the snow version of crop circles, yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Oh man. Now, how would they do that? They'd have to use GPS or something, or how do they?
I actually don't know how they do it. It would be really interesting. Everything's in Finnish on their Facebook group and stuff, But they've also made news, so they've been all over the news with it because it's really, really stunning. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
With patterns that they do, and I think that it's growing all the time because But I just thought that this was fascinating. That it's a snowshoe community. only Finland would have a snowshoe community.
Oh,
Shall we set up a
man.
Facebook group? Yeah, let's have a Facebook group for snowshoes. Oh yeah, that's good.
I used to have plastic snowshoes.
Yeah.
And the reason I had plastic snowshoes is I was out cutting wood in
Oh,
the forest.
yeah.
I had a house that we heated with wood, right?
Yeah.
And if you nick an expensive snowshoe with a chainsaw, well, you're out some bucks, eh? And
Exactly.
if you can go down to the hardware store and buy a pair of snowshoes for $13, you're laughing, right? And the company I worked for, the company I retired from, we used to have what we called a wellness benefit. And if you spent money on fitness, they would give you $100 back.
Okay.
So I went and I bought oh, this is terrible. I bought snowshoes. They were $99.99. So I brought the receipt into work and they gave me the $100 and I returned the snowshoes. You know, people would buy fishing equipment or golf
Oh,
clubs
yeah.
or stuff. You know, I wasn't into fishing or golf, so I went and bought snowshoes and got my $100.
That sounds like something Aaron would do.
Oh man, that was terrible. Bob Casey's joined us. Herman from Phantom Flight 101. Mike Rena. Robert Glazier's here. Unlimited Vertical. Jay Santiago. Ken Herron was here for a while. I made him a moderator. Johnny Drone Flyer is with us. Did I say Herman yet?
Yep.
Yes, you did. Herman's here, and also Lawrence was here as well.
Oh, Ron Lockwood from RL Photography. Oh yeah,
Joe.
there's just a whole bunch of people. Now you were talking about that recent video on the frozen lake. That's where I got the screenshot here, and you're right here on the Wall of Fame. So
Excellent,
The wall.
lovely
wall.
lovely stuff. Excellent.
I'm gonna have to get a bigger wall or smaller picture, or I can't imagine going through and reprinting all those pictures. Now we're still 12 minutes away from the outro, but when I do the outro, every time I do the outro, it gets 3.5 seconds longer because we had to get Steven's picture in the outro as episode 22. So eventually, I figure by the year 2030, we'll have a 7-minute show and a 53-minute outro.
A massively long outro, yeah.
You know, because we don't want to leave anybody out, right?
Oh, of course not.
You know, but you know, it's fun for sure. That's why we do this, and to get to know somebody a little bit better. You know, this is a great community, but I think in a lot of streams we get so many people up at the same time that we don't really get to delve into, you know, to what they're about, you know. But
Yeah, and I think that it's a testament to the community that we have anyway. You know, I've been here. You know, this is my 12th day, and the amount of messages and invitations and calls that I've had from the community worldwide has been amazing. It's just been amazing. You know, just the support, just people dropping a message. Hope you're well. You know, watch this. You know, if you want to watch something, watch this. I recommend this. You know, all that kind of stuff. It's just been absolutely fantastic, and I really, really do appreciate it. It just shows how tight our community is and how much that we do respect each other. And we are in a very unique position that we have an incredible community.
yeah,
There, and I really do. It's so heartwarming to know that I'm in Taipei, but someone in the West Coast or the East Coast or somewhere in Europe or something is just sending a message to say, "Hope you're well." You can do it. You know, all the rest of it. You know, it's just so nice.
yeah. No, and I can't imagine being stuck in one room for 14 days. You know,
It could be worse. Your wife could be there.
That's actually probably the wisest statement I've heard in 12 days so far.
well, you know what they say, the secret to a happy marriage is 2 televisions and plenty of square footage.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, the thing is, at home we're actually going through a renovation at our home. So we had to move home temporarily, and that happened at the beginning of October. And beforehand, my wife said, "Look, we're going to be staying in a very, very small apartment. It's going to be a tiny apartment we're living in, just so we can get this work done at home." She said, I really hope that you are going to be travelling a lot. I said, "Well, I think I will be." As it turned out, I was pretty much travelling all the time, so it's been really nice. However, we moved back to our home on Monday, and I'm not going to be there. And my wife's going, My wife's going, but you should be here. I'm going, well, you wanted me to travel, so
And she's
careful what
going
you
to
wish.
change the locks.
Careful what you wish for.
Now you've got work to do once you leave there.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into what you're doing because that's your business. But how long you'll be working before you get to go home?
I'll be working until end of February.
Okay.
I'll be working. I mean, I'll be talking about this, what I'm doing very soon. I think, we will be talking about this very, very soon. Yeah, everyone knows what I'm doing anyway. So, and I'm sure, once I'm doing what I'm doing down here, people will know what I'm doing. People will see what I'm doing because it's very cool what I'm doing down here. And I've seen what I'll be doing here, and it's going to be stunning. It's going to be stunning. So yeah, but we'll talk about this at some point later on, I'm sure. And,
Now, the Flyby guys, is that the company that you work for? Now you have partners.
Yep.
Are they in quarantine as well, or?
Yeah. I've got 3 guys. I've got 3 guys here in quarantine at the same time. So.
Oh man. Yeah.
I've got 3 guys here. Yeah. So when we get out, we it's a funny situation to say that the first thing we're going to do, our first evening, is to go and have a couple of beers. That's the first thing we do. Once we finish our day, we'll go and have a couple of beers. So I think we deserve it. I think we absolutely deserve it.
Yeah. Will you be flying the first? No, you'll be traveling the first day you're out, right?
Traveling, yeah. We take the train down to Kaohsiung. It's about 2 or 3 hours down there. So we'll get down there about midday. Get to our next hotel, get that, and then we'll start work around 1 o'clock or something. Then we'll be
that'll be a shock. You go from quarantine to being packed in a train.
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, I'm happy just to get outside and to do some walking. Just to get outside and get some fresh air and just see, just to see people.
Well, do you have a window you can open and stick your head out to get some vitamin D? Or
I do have a window there. That window there actually opens to about this or something, so I can put my head out, get some fresh air. So it's better than nothing, But
You can't even walk the halls for a little exercise.
Yeah, I do try to walk about. So when I'm on calls and stuff, I just walk around as much as I can just to try to get some kind of activity, So yeah, it's a crazy situation, but this is where we are. And as I say, I think I'll come out of this a better person because I'll have a better understanding of myself and a bit more respect for, let's say, the simple things in life. Just simple things make me happy. The food last night I had was really bad, so I ordered Burger King, and I was sitting having Burger King. Just a burger and fries and a Coke, and I was just filled with so much happiness. And I was like, why? I'm like, why? It's like
I can relate.
I was almost close to tears. It was almost an emotional experience.
Whopper, Baconator, Whopper, Baconator.
It's that kind of it's that kind of thing which just helps you kind of be a bit more understanding about life and just seeing things differently, not taking anything for granted.
No, that's right. Oh yeah. You know what? We live in a crazy time, but man, with the technology that we have, we just don't realize how good we have it, right?
Oh, of course.
I mean, we're able to talk to you in Taiwan from Canada, and we're going to go off in 3 minutes, and the reason we go off in 3 minutes, it's quite simple. Everybody needs an hour to have their nap and grab a drink and maybe a meal before Ken Heron comes on, because that's the familiar part of our world, right? Is Thursday Night Live. I mean, we have to see the weekly Beauchart.
Yes, of course.
You know.
There's always a weekly Beauchamp. Always, of course.
It's like deja vu to me.
Yeah. And if you've already got your drink and your meal and your nap already in, then you can see Mike from Night Train. He comes on right after us. Yeah. There's all of these routines that we have to keep up.
Yeah, and that's it. Well, I've got my meal. I do have my breakfast now. My breakfast arrived, so I've got my meal. So I'm not going to have a burrito. I don't know what it is today, actually.
I would eat burritos.
It's an egg pancake.
Okay.
It's an egg pancake.
Okay, you can have that.
It's actually okay. Actually, it's actually quite good. It's actually
You've had a few of them.
Trust me. I've had worse. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, it's not Pleton, but we'll let it go. Okay, I'm going to play the outro. You got anything else for us before you leave, Stephen?
I have a new video coming out tonight, or even tomorrow. I actually made a video here in the hotel room, but it's actually something for the drone community to learn something new from. So I've got a nice new tip for everyone. So I'll get that out. I should have done it last night. I should have put it out last night, but I fell asleep, and I didn't put it out. So I'll put it out tonight, which is tomorrow for you guys.
See, I do a mind map to remind me of the things that we have to cover, right? And we never got into how shitty the Fly app is. So
do we have to go?
No, we don't have to do that. Oh no, we're out of here.
But listen, want to say thank you for the invitation. Thank you to everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to play the outro. Jim and I will be around for a few minutes after if you want to join us.
Yep, that's good. I'll be here.
Okay, great. Jim, anything?
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Stephen. And I think your video is probably how to fly the M3 in a hotel room.
Okay, now let me see if I can figure this out because I screw this up every week, don't I? Let me just. Oh man, here we go.
You'll get
all right, we're out of here.
Night.
Thanks everybody for stopping by. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to come here and be with us. Thanks again. We'll see you next Thursday.
Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Well, a special thanks to everybody that stuck around to the end of the show of the hour before TNL. All 2,417 of you.